As the world enters the century of technological warfare, mankind has created one of the most powerful weapons of all time, the missile. It is not just iron and gunpowder, but a symbol of power, deterrence, and the game of international politics. This is the story of the ultimate weapon that could determine the fate of war and the future of humanity. A missile is a lethal weapon capable of flying under its own power. It consists of an engine, a guidance system, and a warhead containing a powerful explosive. The obvious difference between a rocket and a missile is that a missile has a warhead that is ready to destroy its target directly, and all this is controlled by intelligent electronic systems. In World War II, Germany had created the first prototype missile the world had ever seen, the V1, nicknamed the Buzz Bomb by the British because of its heart-beating sound. Its pulse jet engine continuously sucked in air, mixed it with fuel, ignited it, and released hot gases, repeating the cycle. Every tiny explosion was a driving force for destruction. When the rangefinder reached a preset revolution, the engine shut down, and it plummeted toward its target. The space race and the Cold War. After World War I, the United States and the Soviet Union vied for rocket scientists and technology. This was the beginning of the space race and the Cold War, which drove the creation of long-range missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs. The golden age of nuclear missiles. The 1960s and 1980s were a time when the world faced real fear. Hundreds of nuclear warheads were hidden underground, under the sea, ready to be launched at any moment. At the push of a button, the world could end. Definition of missile. A missile is a weapon capable of long-range flight powered by its own engine. They are divided into jet engines fueled and air-powered and rocket engines fueled by solid or liquid fuel contained within. Missiles consist of three main components: propulsion system, guidance system, and warhead. The difference between a rocket and a missile is that a missile has a warhead capable of destroying its target and is detonated by a fuse. V1 and pulse jet engine. The first missiles to be deployed were the V1 and V2. Developed by Germany during World War II, the V1 used a pulse jet engine, similar in principle to a beating heart. Air and fuel enter the combustion chamber. Ignition occurs, gas expands. Pushing the valve closed gas is released. Creating thrust pressure drops. The valve opens again, the cycle repeats rapidly. The distance measurement system uses a propeller at the front of the engine, and the direction is controlled by a gyroscope. First steps to space rockets. The beginning of guided weapons development occurred during World War II, when Germany created the V2 rocket, the ancestor of modern missiles. It was a fusion of rocketry and warfare engineering, the likes of which the world had never seen before. V2 and the birth of the liquid-propelled rocket. The V2 missile was the first liquid-propelled rocket, using a mixture of alcohol and water, ethanol, and liquid oxygen as fuel. It reached an altitude of 80 kilometers and a range of over 200 kilometers. It was guided using the inertial navigation system INS, a system unaffected by external noise. This was not just a missile, but the first step towards space exploration. After the war, German scientists like Wernher von Braun brought this knowledge to the United States Apollo program. The development of precision technology. At the end of the 20th century, the world began to see the evolution of missiles, focusing not just on destructive power, but also on precision strike, cruise missiles, low-flying, GPS-guided missiles capable of accurately targeting targets. The science of missile guidance. A missile's flight depends not solely on propulsion, but also on a brain that guides it. The missile's initial guidance system relies on inertial navigation, using gyroscopes and internal sensors. Later, GPS technology was added, increasing its accuracy. However, it was limited by the possibility of interference. Therefore, the new missiles incorporate terrain matching techniques, using radar to measure the level of the terrain or digital cameras to compare it with recorded photographs. All of this allows it to fly accurately even in complete darkness. Missile guidance. There are several types of missile guidance systems. Inertial navigation uses gyroscopes and acceleration sensors. Satellite navigation GPS, accurate but susceptible to signal interference. Terrain reference navigation, TERCOM and DSMAC, uses terrain as a reference point. Target hunting. Sometimes, missiles don't just follow a predetermined path. They can also hunt their prey. Command guidance systems rely on external commands via radar or lasers, while homing guidance systems make them feel like real hunters. Use infrared thermal guidance, shape detection cameras, or radar to detect objects by reflected waves. The closer you get to your target, the sharper it becomes and the harder it is to avoid. Command guidance and homing guidance. Command guidance. The missile receives external commands: radar, ground computer. Homing guidance. The missile searches for its own target. Infrared seeker detects engine heat. Image seeker uses a camera to capture the target. Radar seeker emits radio waves and receives them back. Destructive power from warheads. Ultimately, all the power is transferred to the warhead. Some missiles break up into thousands of fragments faster than bullets. Some compress explosive energy in one direction, creating a jet of metal that can penetrate 70 centimeters of armor. If the enemy is equipped with reactive armor, there is a tandem warhead to penetrate. While some detonators detonate on impact, some are delayed to detonate within the target, and some are proximal. No armor can protect forever. Warhead, blast fragmentation, explosive, high-velocity fragmentation, directional explosive /shaped charge. Directed explosive creates a metallic jet capable of penetrating tank armor up to 70 centimeters thick. Tandem warhead, double-layered fire, penetrating reactive armor. Few systems include impact, delay, and near-target detonation. Missile classification. Missiles are classified according to their trajectory and launch point. Surface-to-air missile SAM, fired from the ground to an air target. Air-to-air missile AAM, fired from an aircraft to an aircraft. Ballistic missile, fired in a curved trajectory. Cruise missile, low-flying, jet-powered, maneuverable like an airplane. These weapons not only transformed warfare, but also paved the way for rocketry and human space exploration. The new missile, hypersonic. The world is now entering a new era of missiles: hypersonic missiles, several times faster than the speed of sound, capable of evading radar and defense systems. It is a revolution in armament that will forever change the global security equation. Weapons and peace. While missiles are a symbol of military power, they are also a reflection of the terror of our time. In a world plagued by an arms race, we should ask ourselves, where does true power lie? Destruction, or the choice of this technology to create balance and peace? From the prototype rocket of World War II to the missile capable of striking with pinpoint accuracy, this evolutionary path is proof that mankind has never ceased its quest for greater destructive power. But ultimately, true power may not lie in the number of weapons, but in the choice of their use. To maintain balance and peace in this world, and this is just a fraction of the path of destructive weapons that the world has created. But the story is not over, because in the shadow of modern technology, there are still many things waiting to be revealed. From the birth of the nuclear bomb to the cyber battlefield, from an army of iron armor to an invisible army in the digital world. Stay tuned for the next documentary series, which will take you deeper into the weapons and warfare of the future. And don't forget to follow, like, and share to show your support. Thank you.